My husband's family kept hosting family-only dinners and posting pictures of my kids there without inviting me. I commented on the photo, "We won't be sending the kids anywhere they don't want their mother." Next holiday, I took my kids on a trip and posted, "Family-only Christmas." His mom is furious I used the kids for revenge. My husband's mother texted me that I wasn't welcome at Thanksgiving dinner because it was immediate family only while my kids were already there eating turkey. I know how that sounds. Let me explain. My husband, 38, and I, 34, have been dealing with his family's bullshit for our entire marriage, but this year it reached a breaking point. We have 2 kids, 7 and 5. His mother has always been cold to me. Not outright rude, just this constant ice queen thing where she'd smile at me with dead eyes and ask pointed questions about my job, my weight, whether I was keeping up with the house. His sister is worse. She's 41, divorced, bitter about it, and seems to think that because she had a failed marriage, she gets to have opinions about mine. She and their mom are like this unit that my husband just bows down to. It's exhausting. So here's what happened. About 6 months ago, they started doing these family dinners every other week. My husband would take the kids and go. I asked if I should come and he said his mom specifically said it was just for blood family and their spouses weren't included. I thought that was weird, but whatever. His dad seemed uncomfortable with it but never said anything. Then I started seeing the Facebook posts. Pictures of my kids at the dinner table. My daughter wearing a new dress I'd never seen. My son holding a toy truck. All these captions about family time and the people who matter most with a million heart emojis. Comments from relatives I barely knew saying how sweet it was that grandma got her special time with the babies. I asked my husband about it and he got defensive. Said his mom just wanted to bond with the kids. That I was being paranoid. That lots of grandparents do special activities with their grandchildren. But here's the thing. My own mother lives 2 hours away and when she wants to see the kids, she invites all of us. She doesn't exclude my husband and post about it on social media like he doesn't exist. I let it go for a while. Picked my battles. Then Thanksgiving came. My husband told me Wednesday night that his mom wanted him and the kids there at 1 p.m. on Thursday. I asked what time I should be ready and he got this look on his face. He said, "She didn't invite you. It's the family dinner thing again." I lost it. I told him there was no way in hell my kids were going anywhere on Thanksgiving without me. He said I was being dramatic. That it was just one holiday. That his mom had already bought special outfits for the kids and they were excited. We fought for 2 hours. He slept on the couch. Thursday morning he got up early and told the kids to get dressed. I told them we were going to have Thanksgiving at home, just us. My daughter started crying because Grandma promised her pumpkin pie. My husband called me selfish and said I was ruining the holiday. Then he loaded the kids in the car and left. I sat in our kitchen alone on Thanksgiving and cried. Ordered Chinese food. Watched TV. Around 4 p.m. I checked Facebook and there it was. A photo album titled Our Perfect Family Thanksgiving. 23 pictures. My kids at the table. My son on his grandpa's lap. My daughter helping mix something in the kitchen with my husband's sister. Everyone smiling. My husband in the background of half of them. Not a single picture of me because I wasn't there. The caption said, "Thankful for the family God gave us. Blood is thicker than water." I stared at that for 10 minutes. Then I commented, "Beautiful photo. We won't be sending the kids anywhere they don't want their mother. Enjoy your last family-only dinner." My phone started blowing up immediately. My husband called me screaming. His sister sent me a message calling me a psychotic bitch. His mom called me immature and said I was punishing the children to hurt her. I didn't answer any of them. When my husband came home that night, I told him I was taking the kids to my mother's for Christmas. He said I couldn't do that. I said watch me. He tried to apologize over the next few weeks. Said his mom got carried away. That he should have stood up for me. But he still made excuses. Still said I embarrassed the family with my comment. I didn't care anymore. I booked flights to my mom's place 3 states away. Told the kids we were having a special Christmas adventure with Grandma, just us 3. They were excited. December 23rd we left. I posted a photo of the 3 of us at the airport with the caption, "Family only Christmas. Just me and my babies." Then I posted daily updates. Christmas morning with stockings. The kids opening presents for my mom. Christmas dinner at my aunt's house where everyone was happy to see me and my kids. Pictures of us baking cookies, watching movies, building snowmen. My husband called me 50 times. His mother left voicemails crying about how I stole Christmas from her. His sister sent me paragraphs about what a vindictive cow I was. I ignored all of it. We came home December 28th. My husband was waiting at the house with his mother. She started screaming at me the second I walked in. Called me every name in the book. Said I weaponized her grandchildren. That I was cruel and heartless and she'd never forgive me for taking away their Christmas. I looked at her and said, "Now you know how Thanksgiving felt." She lost her mind. Tried to grab my arm. My husband had to physically hold her back while she shrieked about calling her lawyer, about grandparents' rights, about how I was an unfit mother. The kids were scared. My daughter was crying. I got them inside and locked the door. His mother sat in her car in our driveway for an hour before leaving. Now my husband is furious with me. Says I went too far. That I'm using the kids to punish his family. His dad called me yesterday and said while he understands I was hurt, his wife is devastated and I stooped to her level instead of being the bigger person. My own mother says she's proud of me but thinks I should try to work things out for the kids' sake. My best friend says his family deserved it but I might have made things worse. I don't know anymore. Part of me feels justified because they literally excluded me from Thanksgiving and posted about it. But my kids did have a really good relationship with their grandma before this and now it's completely destroyed. My husband says if I don't apologize and make this right, he doesn't know if he can stay married to someone this spiteful. His mother is telling everyone in the family that I'm keeping her grandchildren from her out of pure cruelty. So I guess I need to know. Was I wrong for doing exactly what they did to me? Am I a butthole? So my husband moved out 3 days after I posted. I didn't ask him to leave. He packed a bag while I was putting the kids to bed and said he needed space to think. I found out 2 hours later from his sister's Facebook post that he was staying at his parents' house. The post was a photo of him looking exhausted on their couch with the caption, "Sometimes you have to escape toxic situations for your mental health." I screenshotted it and sent it to my lawyer. Yeah, I got a lawyer. After that disaster in my driveway with his mother screaming at me, I knew this wasn't going to get better. I called someone my friend recommended and had a consultation the day after we got back from Christmas. She told me to document everything. Every text, every Facebook post, every witness to his mother's behavior. The kids have been asking where daddy is. My daughter cried herself to sleep last night asking if it was her fault. I told her no, that sometimes grown-ups need time apart to figure things out, but she's 7 and she knows something is really wrong. My son is acting out at school. His teacher called yesterday because he shoved another kid during recess. When I picked him up he wouldn't talk to me. Just stared out the window the whole drive home. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Not the marriage ending, honestly that's been circling the drain for a while. But my kids being collateral damage in this war his family started. My husband has been texting me nonstop. First it was anger, calling me selfish and cruel. Then it shifted to begging me to apologize to his mother so we can move forward as a family. This morning he sent me a long message about how he's been doing a lot of thinking and he realizes now that I have valid complaints about his family but I handled it all wrong. I didn't respond to any of it. What I did do was gather every single Facebook post from the last 6 months. Printed them out. Documented every family dinner I was excluded from with dates and times. My lawyer loved it. She said if this goes to custody court, which she thinks it will, this pattern of deliberate exclusion is going to matter. His mother has been calling me from different numbers because I blocked her main one. She leaves these rambling voicemails about how she's a good grandmother and I'm keeping her babies from her and God is watching what I'm doing. I saved all of them. Yesterday his father showed up at my door. Alone this time. He looked terrible, like he hadn't slept in days. He asked if we could talk and I almost said no but something about his face made me let him in. We sat at my kitchen table and he told me he was sorry. That he's been watching this happen for months and he should have said something. That his wife has always been controlling but it's gotten worse since his sister's divorce. She's convinced that all marriages are doomed and she's trying to protect my husband from me by strengthening his bond with real family. I asked him why he never stood up for me then. He said he's a coward. That he spent 30 years keeping the peace and it's made him weak. Then he told me something that made my blood run cold. Apparently his mother has been telling my husband for over a year that I'm going to leave him. That I'm just using him for financial stability and once the kids are older I'll take everything and run. She's been planting seeds this whole time, trying to make him paranoid and dependent on her. The family dinners weren't about bonding with the kids. They were about showing my husband what life would be like without me. How easy and drama-free it could be. His sister has been backing her up, telling him he deserves better than someone who doesn't appreciate the family. I sat there listening to this and I felt sick. My husband has been gaslighting me for months, making me feel crazy for being hurt, and it's because his mother has been poisoning him against me this entire time. His father said he's leaving her. That he can't do this anymore. Watching her destroy our marriage was the final straw and he's done enabling her behavior. He's already talking to a lawyer. I didn't know what to say to that. Part of me felt bad for him but mostly I was just numb. He left after about an hour. Told me he'd testify about everything if it came to custody court. That he loves his grandchildren but his wife is unwell and he won't let her damage them. My husband found out his dad came to see me and completely lost it. Sent me a string of texts calling me a home wrecker, saying I'm destroying his family, that I turned his father against his mother. I forwarded them all to my lawyer. The thing that's killing me is that I didn't want any of this. I just wanted to be included. I wanted my husband to stand up for me. I wanted his family to treat me like I mattered. Instead I'm watching everything burn down and my kids are the ones getting hurt. My daughter asked me this morning if Grandma hates us now. I told her no, that Grandma is just confused and upset. But honestly, I don't know what the truth is anymore. His mother seems genuinely convinced that I'm the villain in this story. That I stole Christmas out of spite instead of responding to months of calculated exclusion. My lawyer said to expect a custody filing soon. That my husband's family will probably push for grandparents' rights and try to paint me as unstable. She's not worried because we have documentation and witnesses, but it's still going to be a fight. I'm exhausted. I'm angry. And I'm scared about what this is doing to my kids. They didn't ask for any of this. They just wanted both their parents and their grandparents, and now everything is broken. My mom offered to come stay with me for a few weeks, but I told her not yet. I need to figure out how to explain this to my kids first. How to tell them that the family they loved isn't safe anymore. Was I really wrong for giving them a taste of their own medicine? Because it feels like I just lit a match and burned down my entire life. My husband filed for custody 2 weeks ago and his mother is listed as a co-petitioner. I found out when the sheriff showed up at my door with the papers. The kids were at school, thank God. I sat on my couch reading through page after page of accusations. That I'm emotionally unstable. That I use the children as weapons. That I've alienated them from their father's family without cause. There's an entire section about the Christmas trip. They're calling it parental kidnapping even though I'm their mother and we were never separated or under any custody agreement. My lawyer says it's bullshit, but we still have to respond to every single claim. The worst part is the declaration from my husband. 3 pages of him describing me as controlling, vindictive, and cruel. He says I've always hated his mother and looked for any excuse to keep the kids from her. That the family dinners were innocent grandmother bonding time and I turned them into a weapon because I'm jealous of their relationship. He's lying. He knows he's lying. But it's all written in this calm, reasonable tone like he's the victim here. His mother's declaration is worse. She describes herself as a devoted grandmother who's only ever tried to love and support her grandchildren. Says I've been systematically poisoning them against her because of my own insecurities. That she's terrified for their well-being and my care. She includes screenshots of my Facebook comment and post from Christmas. Frames them as evidence of my instability and desire to hurt her. Doesn't mention a single one of her own posts. Doesn't mention Thanksgiving or any of the dinners I wasn't invited to. My lawyer says we're going to bury them with our evidence, but I'm still scared. These are my kids. What if a judge believes their lies? The kids know something's wrong. My daughter found the court papers on the kitchen counter before I could hide them. She can't read most of it, but she saw custody and mother and started asking questions I didn't know how to answer. I told her Daddy and I are having a disagreement and some other adults are helping us work it out. She asked if she has to choose between us. I almost started crying right there, but I held it together and told her no, that she never has to choose. My son won't talk about his dad at all. When I told him Daddy wanted to have dinner with them this week, he said he didn't want to go. I can't legally keep them from him, so I have to make him go, but watching my 5-year-old cry and beg to stay home is breaking me. My husband's been doing this thing where he picks them up and immediately drives to his parents' house. I found out because my daughter told me. She said Grandma is always there and she keeps hugging them and crying about how much she missed them. My son said Grandma told him I was keeping secrets from them. I called my lawyer immediately. She said to document everything the kids tell me, but we can't restrict his parenting time yet unless there's immediate danger. Grandma being present isn't enough. Yesterday was my husband's dinner night. When he brought them home, my daughter was quiet and weird. I asked if everything was okay and she said Grandma showed her pictures from when Daddy was little. Then she asked why I don't have any pictures like that with Daddy in them. I realized what his mother is doing. She's trying to erase me. Showing them this alternate history where it's just their dad and his family and I'm this outside force that doesn't belong. Later that night I was tucking my daughter in and she said something that made my stomach drop. She said Grandma told her that sometimes mommies and daddies stop loving each other, but grandmas never stop loving their grandchildren. That no matter what happens with me and Daddy, Grandma will always be there for them. She's coaching my kids. Preparing them for what she thinks is coming. And my husband is just letting it happen. I sent him a text telling him his mother is not allowed to discuss the custody case with the kids or make them feel like they have to choose sides. He responded that I don't get to dictate what his family talks about, and if I'm worried maybe I should think about how my own actions led to this. His father called me 3 days ago. He officially filed for separation and moved into an apartment across town. His mother is apparently having a complete breakdown. Won't eat, won't sleep, just sits in their house crying about how everyone's abandoning her. He said she's convinced this is all my fault. That I manipulated him into leaving her and now I'm trying to take her grandchildren too. She's telling relatives that I'm evil, that I've destroyed her family on purpose. Some of them believe her. I got a message from my husband's aunt yesterday. Someone I've barely ever spoken to. She said she's praying for me because the devil has clearly taken hold of my heart. That tearing apart a family is an unforgivable sin and I'll have to answer to God for what I've done. I didn't even respond. What's the point? The preliminary custody hearing is in 3 weeks. My lawyer is confident, but I can't sleep. I keep playing out scenarios in my head where the judge sides with them. Where I lose my kids because I refuse to be excluded and disrespected. My husband sent me another long text this morning. Said he still loves me and we can fix this if I just apologize to his mother and agree to family therapy with her included. That she's willing to forgive everything if I admit I was wrong and work on being more accepting of his family. I read it twice and then blocked his number. He can communicate through my lawyer now. My daughter asked me today if we're still a family. I told her yes, we'll always be a family even if it looks different than before. She asked if that means grandma too and I didn't know what to say. Because honestly I don't know anymore. His mother has made it clear she sees me as the enemy. She's weaponizing my children against me while playing the victim. And my husband is helping her do it. Part of me wonders if I should have just kept my mouth shut. Let them have their dinners and their Facebook posts and pretended it didn't hurt. Maybe none of this would be happening if I just stayed quiet. But then I remember sitting alone on Thanksgiving while they posted pictures of my kids without me. I remember the caption about blood being thicker than water. And I know I couldn't have kept living like that. I just wish my kids didn't have to pay the price for me finally standing up for myself. The preliminary hearing was yesterday and I'm still shaking. My lawyer told me to stay calm no matter what they said. To keep my face neutral and let her handle everything. I tried. I really did. But sitting in that courtroom listening to my husband and his mother lie under oath was one of the hardest things I've ever done. My husband went first. He was wearing this suit I'd never seen before, probably something his mother bought him. He sat in the witness box and talked about how worried he is for the children's emotional well-being. How I've become increasingly unstable over the past year. How the Christmas incident was the culmination of months of erratic behavior. His lawyer asked him to describe our marriage. He said it was good at first, but I've always struggled with his family. That I'm jealous of his close relationship with his mother and I've tried to drive a wedge between them since we got married. He said the family dinners were his mother's attempt to bond with the grandchildren after I repeatedly made her feel unwelcome in our home. I wanted to scream. I've never made her unwelcome. She's the one who made me feel like an intruder in my own marriage. Then his lawyer brought up Thanksgiving. My husband said he tried to compromise with me, but I refused to be reasonable. That I threw a tantrum and then vindictively planned the Christmas trip to punish his mother. He actually used the word vindictive. Like I'm some villain in a movie instead of his wife who just wanted to be included. The worst part was watching him. He looked so sincere. So concerned. Like he genuinely believes the story he's telling. My lawyer cross-examined him and that's when things got interesting. She pulled out the printed Facebook posts. Asked him to explain why his mother was hosting family dinners every 2 weeks but posting about them publicly. He said it was just social media, that his mother likes sharing photos of her grandchildren. She asked him if he thought it was appropriate for his mother to caption a Thanksgiving photo with blood is thicker than water when I'd been deliberately excluded. He got flustered. Said he didn't write the caption and couldn't speak to his mother's intentions. Then she asked why he never once invited me to these dinners if they were so innocent. Why he didn't push back when his mother said spouses weren't included. He didn't have a good answer for that. Just kept saying he was trying to keep the peace. My lawyer asked him if keeping the peace was worth more than his wife's dignity. He didn't answer. His mother testified next and I honestly thought I was going to be sick. She sat up there crying about how much she loves her grandchildren. How all she ever wanted was to have a relationship with them, but I've made it impossible. She said I've always been cold to her, that I barely speak to her at family gatherings, that I roll my eyes when she tries to give parenting advice. Maybe I have rolled my eyes. She tells me how to dress my kids, what to feed them, how to discipline them. But I've never stopped her from seeing them. I've never kept them away from her until she deliberately excluded me from Thanksgiving. Her lawyer asked about the Christmas trip. She started sobbing, talking about how she had presents wrapped and dinner planned. How she called the house phone on Christmas morning and no one answered. How she sat alone crying because I stole her grandchildren to hurt her. She didn't mention that she spent Thanksgiving with them while I sat home alone. Didn't mention any of the Facebook posts or the months of family dinners I wasn't invited to. Just painted herself as this loving grandmother being victimized by her cruel daughter-in-law. My lawyer tore her apart on cross-examination. She pulled up every single Facebook post. Made his mother read the captions out loud. Asked her to explain what family only meant if not deliberately excluding me. His mother kept saying it was taken out of context, that she never meant to hurt me, that I'm being oversensitive. My lawyer asked if she thought posting photos of my children with captions about real family while excluding their mother was appropriate. His mother said she was just expressing gratitude for her family. Then my lawyer dropped the bomb. She asked if it was true that his mother had been telling my husband for over a year that I was going to leave him. That she'd been deliberately trying to damage our marriage by planting seeds of paranoia. His mother's lawyer objected immediately, but the judge allowed it. His mother denied it at first, but my lawyer had his father's declaration. She read excerpts out loud about his mother's campaign to turn my husband against me. His mother started crying harder. Said his father was lying because I manipulated him into leaving her. That everyone's turned against her because I'm so good at playing the victim. The judge looked uncomfortable. Told her to answer the questions without editorializing. My lawyer asked if she'd been coaching the children during my husband's parenting time. telling them that grandmas never stop loving them no matter what happens with their parents. His mother said she was just reassuring them, that they seemed anxious and confused. My lawyer asked if she thought it was appropriate to discuss adult problems with young children during a custody dispute. His mother said she wasn't discussing anything, just comforting her grandchildren. Then my lawyer asked if she'd shown my daughter old photos and made comments about how I wasn't in them. His mother hesitated. Said she might have shared some family photos. My lawyer asked why. His mother said because my daughter asked about her father's childhood. My lawyer asked if she told my son that I was keeping secrets from him. His mother said no. My lawyer said we have statements from both children saying otherwise. His mother started talking about how kids misinterpret things, how they might have confused something she said. The judge finally called for a break. I went to the bathroom and threw up. When we came back, I had to testify. I told the truth about everything. The dinners, the Facebook posts, Thanksgiving, all of it. My husband's lawyer tried to make me sound petty and jealous, but I just kept bringing it back to the facts. I was excluded deliberately. It hurt. I responded by doing the same thing they did to me. The judge asked me if I understood why taking the children on an out-of-state trip without telling their father might be concerning from a custody perspective. I said yes, that I understood how it looked, but I was still legally allowed to travel with my children and I'd needed space from my husband's family after what happened at Thanksgiving. We're waiting on the judge's decision now. My lawyer thinks it went well. She said the Facebook posts are damning and his mother's testimony hurt them more than it helped. But I'm terrified. My husband texted me from a new number last night. Said his mother is devastated and it's my fault for bringing his father into this. That I've destroyed his entire family and he'll never forgive me. I didn't respond. My kids came home from his house today and my daughter told me something that made my blood run cold. She said grandma told her that judges sometimes let kids choose where they want to live. That if they had to choose, she hopes they'll remember who really loves them. She's preparing my children for a custody battle. She's already working on them, making sure they know whose side to take. I called my lawyer immediately. She's filing a motion to restrict his mother's contact during his parenting time. She said what his mother is doing is called parental alienation and if we can prove it, it will destroy their custody case. But the damage might already be done. My daughter asked me tonight if she has to go to daddy's house anymore. Said it makes her sad there because grandma cries a lot. My son still won't talk about it at all. I don't know what the judge is going to decide. I don't know if my evidence is enough. All I know is that his mother has declared war and she's using my children as soldiers. And the hearing for permanent custody is in 6 weeks. The judge ruled in my favor 6 days ago and I still can't believe it's over. Full custody. My husband gets supervised visitation only, and his mother is explicitly barred from any contact with the children until they turn 18 or request otherwise. The judge said her behavior constituted emotional manipulation of minors and parental alienation, and that allowing her continued access would be detrimental to their psychological well-being. My lawyer said she's never seen a grandparent completely cut off like that in a case without abuse allegations. But the evidence was overwhelming. The Facebook posts, the coaching during visits, his father's testimony about her year-long campaign to destroy my marriage. The judge called it a systematic attempt to replace me as the children's mother. My husband sat in that courtroom and watched his entire case fall apart. When the judge read the ruling, he actually stood up and started arguing. Said it wasn't fair, that his mother was just trying to protect the kids from me. The judge told him to sit down or be held in contempt. His mother wasn't there. She'd stopped coming after the preliminary hearing, said she couldn't handle watching me lie about her. But my husband called her right outside the courthouse and I could hear her screaming through the phone from 20 feet away. I should feel vindicated, but mostly I just feel exhausted. The kids took it hard at first. My daughter cried for 3 days asking when she could see grandma again. I didn't know how to explain that grandma had been hurting her by saying bad things about mommy. That sometimes people who love you can still do things that aren't okay. My son has been quieter than usual, but he seems relieved. He told me yesterday that he didn't like going to daddy's house because grandma always made him feel like he was supposed to be sad. That she kept asking if he missed her and if he was happy with me. He's 5 years old. He shouldn't have to navigate that kind of manipulation. My husband moved back in with his mother after the ruling. His father told me they're both refusing to accept it, talking about appeals and claiming judicial bias. His mother apparently spent the first 2 days screaming about how the system is broken and how I've stolen her grandchildren using lies and manipulation. His father seems almost relieved. He finalized his divorce 3 weeks ago and has his own apartment now. He asked if he could still see the kids sometime and I said yes. He's never been the problem. He actually apologized to me again, said he should have stood up to her years ago. I believe him. He looked 20 years younger when I saw him last week. Like he'd been holding his breath for decades and finally let it out. My husband has been sending emails through his lawyer asking to renegotiate the custody arrangement. Says supervised visitation is humiliating and he can't rebuild his relationship with the children under those conditions. My lawyer keeps denying the requests. She says we'll revisit in 6 months if he completes parenting classes and therapy. I don't know if he will. Part of me thinks he's too far gone, too tangled up in his mother's version of reality to ever see the truth. The worst part is watching my kids process all of this. My daughter asked me last week if Daddy still loves her. I told her of course he does, that sometimes grown-ups make mistakes but that doesn't change how much they love their children. She asked if I made mistakes too. I said yes. That I should have stood up for myself sooner instead of letting things get so bad. That I'm sorry she and her brother got caught in the middle of adult problems. She hugged me and said it's okay, that she's just glad I'm not sad anymore. I didn't realize how much of my sadness had been visible to them. How much they'd been absorbing without me knowing. My husband's sister sent me a message 2 days ago. First time she's contacted me directly since this all started. She said I'm a horrible person and I've destroyed her brother's life. That their mother is on medication now because of me, that she can barely function. That I took everything from them over a stupid Facebook post. A stupid Facebook post. Like that's all it was. Like the months of deliberate exclusion and manipulation didn't matter. I blocked her number and went about my day. The kids start therapy next week. My lawyer recommended someone who specializes in children of high-conflict divorces. I'm hoping it helps them process everything that's happened. My daughter especially seems confused about why Grandma can't see them anymore. I've been in therapy myself for a month now. My therapist says I'm dealing with something called reactive abuse, where you finally snap after prolonged mistreatment and then get blamed for your reaction. She says what I did at Christmas wasn't revenge, it was boundary setting. That I had every right to take my children on a trip after being excluded from Thanksgiving. It helps to hear that from someone objective. Even though I know I was justified, there's still this guilt sitting in my chest. Guilt over what this is doing to my kids. Over the fact that my husband's family is fractured now and part of that is because of me. My therapist says that's not my guilt to carry. That I didn't create this situation, I just refuse to keep accepting it. She's probably right. But it's still hard. My daughter told me something yesterday that broke my heart. She said she used to think families were supposed to love each other no matter what, but now she knows that sometimes people stop being family. I asked her if she still felt like we're a family, just her and her brother and me. She thought about it for a long time. Then she said yes, but is a smaller family now. A quieter one. I guess that's what we are now. Smaller and quieter. My kids and me in this house that feels too big some days, trying to figure out what normal looks like. My husband has his first supervised visit next week. I'm terrified of how it's going to go. Terrified he'll say something to upset them or that they'll come home confused and sad. But my lawyer says we have to start somewhere. I don't know what happens next. If my husband will ever accept responsibility for his part in this. If his mother will ever stop seeing me as the villain. If my kids will carry scars from this into their adult lives. All I know is that I'm done being excluded. Done being treated like I don't matter in my own family. And if that makes me the bad guy in their story, I can live with that. Because my kids will grow up knowing their mother fought for them. That she refused to disappear quietly just to keep the peace. And maybe someday they'll understand why that mattered.